Welcome. Welcome to Coffee and One Thing with Team Beery at United Brokers Group. And we are here with Lawrence Ocon. He is a health insurance agent that can give us some information and help us through what happens when you move. Like, I'm sure that all kind of gets affected. So
Absolutely.
that is kind of what we're going to try to do here. But we have a little coffee segment because obviously coffee and one thing. So our little focus Coffee of the month is Newman's Own Organics. This is one of my favorites. Two reasons, because all of the profits go to a nonprofit. And so they really do help charities and all that kind of stuff. That's very dear to my heart. And so that's one of my favorite reasons why I drink it. But then it's also really good. So that's our coffee part of this little segment.
Our monthly coffee.
Monthly coffee.
When it's my turn, I'm bringing creamer.
Oh, she's a cream. We might get a little coffee with you.
Coffee and a lot of creamer.
Maybe do now one creamer and one thing.
Creamer and one thing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we got going on. And so Lawrence, walk us through. Like I have a feeling we come across a lot of people that move constantly. They're either moving across the state, they're moving across the country. There's a lot of things going on with that for real estate, but never really could put it together that it really affects their health insurance too.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about some of the reasons and why that is something that should be considered when they're making that move.
Okay. And first of all, thank you for having me. This is fantastic. And, Elaine and I have worked so closely together, and really there is cohesiveness between health insurance and the real estate industry.
I had no idea.
It's crazy. Because when people move, they're so focused on the moving aspect, right? And you guys, that's your specialty. That's your baby. Let's get the moving trucks. Let's get, everything taken care of. Let's get taken care of the family. And they don't think about what their health insurance, when they're moving, whether it's within the state and just between counties. So if someone's moving from Flagstaff down here or vice versa, or if they're moving across the country. If, we have a lot of people, snowbirds that decide to
retirees.
move here. So, and it all makes a difference. So it all makes a difference whether they're under 65 market or over 65 market, and how it affects their health insurance. So I know, like, intrastate. So just people moving from outside
like county
of the
to county.
Right.
Okay.
And what lots of people, kind of a misconception is that the pre-existing business
coverage stays the same.
It's completely done. It doesn't matter if you have a pre-existing, which lots of people think that.
Yeah.
Well, if you're on the Affordable Care Act plan, which is the ACA or Obamacare or whatever people call it, that is the case. But if you're on a Affordable Care Act plan and you're living in Flagstaff, more than likely you're on a Blue Cross Blue Shield plan.
Right.
And that doesn't just automatically transfer to Maricopa County.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. So you're only covered in the county that you live in.
Wow.
So if you're doing when you're talking to someone who's moving, great questions would be, how often do you travel outside of your county? How often do you travel outside of your state? And those are things that I ask my clients all the time, because it does matter. It matters if they're looking at an Affordable Care Act plan, or if they're looking at a short-term plan or an employment plan or individual plan. And there's a lot more that goes into it. And you guys are professionals in your business, and I'm a professional in my business.
Yeah.
And it's asking all of these questions to really get somebody in the proper plan.
I hadn't thought about that, because you think about there's some people who travel frequently for their job.
Sure.
Well,
They're
I never thought about your health.
else.
Your health insurance is affected by that.
Sure.
Wow.
Yeah, and if you're a lot of large corporations, you're on a group plan, and if you're on a group plan, then you're covered nationwide. You're good.
Right.
But if you're like an
but
independent
for-
agent or
yeah.
somebody who's a 1099 person,
A realtor?
like a
A
realtor,
realtor.
Yeah.
like traveling
those?
could become an issue. But travel,
Those are my number one clients, just so you know. So if you know a realtor, send them my way.
I might know a few.
Yes.
Well, even, I mean, obviously, I'm not familiar with everywhere, but even here in the Valley, you're talking about there's so many independent business
Snowbirds,
owners.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So if you're working for like a big company that a corporate and you're in their insurance plan, then it's not an issue.
Correct. Correct.
Okay. All right.
No, if you're on a
But-
group plan and
banging the
yeah, it's not. But if you're on an Affordable Care Act plan, or if you are over 65, and we see Joe Namath saying,
Right.
buy this,
right.
call
Buy
this
you gotta
number.
call
And
this guy, yeah,
those
yeah.
those are considered Advantage plans. So Advantage plans also, I'm dealing with that with my father right now. He lives in Georgia. We're trying to move him here. Well, he's on an Advantage plan.
And it doesn't
Medicare.
transfer.
It's
And it
only
doesn't transfer?
he's only covered in Atlanta.
Wow.
So when he's right now
wow.
he's in Las Vegas visiting my sister. We need to get him a different insurance plan.
Yeah.
So
That is really fascinating.
yeah.
So, what are things that people in these situations, what are questions that they should be asking their agent or their insurance company?
There's about 4 or 5 really important questions that I, as an agent, need that information to get the proper coverage for somebody. Lots of times people just say, just send me a quote. Like, I don't want to deal with it, just send me a
Yeah.
quote. That's not
That's
my
not
client.
enough.
Because that's there's so many, like I said, there's short-term plans depending on what your work, how much you make. So income is also an important one because a lot of subsidies on the Affordable Care Act plan are based on your income. So if you make
Okay.
a certain amount of money, you're not going to qualify for what I would consider a substantial subsidy. And if you don't qualify for a substantial subsidy, the Affordable Care Act plans are
Expensive.
Go for
not
it, yeah,
affordable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right.
Kind of an oxymoron.
Yeah.
Right.
So we have to take a look at different plans on
Okay.
what that specific person is looking for.
Got it.
So if they're looking for a health share plan, if they're looking for a health-based plan. So if you're young and healthy, and when I say young and healthy, under 65 and healthy, a
Right.
64-year-old
much of-
says, I'm not young. Well, you are young.
In
the insurance world.
Yeah, so young and healthy means under 65.
Okay.
Or if you're just under 65 and you need some type of coverage and you have some pre-existing things, I have different options to
Okay.
look at.
And there's
Absolutely.
also Kemper Health. Walk us through the difference between Kemper Health and then the affordable.
Yes.
Okay.
So Kemper Health I am appointed by different insurance companies. So I'm appointed with Kemper Health. I'm appointed with Blue Cross Blue Shield, Cigna, Ambetter. So I'm appointed
can
with different
shop everybody
insurance
out.
company. Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
And I always tell people I work for my clients. I'm appointed with
Right.
this health
Right.
insurance companies.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Kemper Health is one of the under 65 young and healthy companies. So if a family is moving and they have a plan in wherever, in Minnesota, and they're looking to move here, first of all, they would hire a great agent team, a very good
good
team.
team.
Exactly. And then I would just talk to them, going back to your question, I need their birthdays, the zip code that they're moving into, their income, any type of medications they're currently taking, and in the last 10 years, if they've had any type of surgeries or anything like that. So I can properly fit them into the right category.
Okay.
Kemper Health, to answer your question, is young and healthy. So the Kemper does underwrite. So they do ask some health questions. But people always ask me, well, what do you? Well, I'm on Kemper Health because, again, I'm young and healthy. 51 isn't young, but,
Hey,
Yeah.
I
Under
think it's
65.
good. I think,
Young.
I think it's young.
So those are the key questions. The
Healthy-ish.
key questions are what type of medications, what's your zip code, birthdays,
And isn't that interesting? Zip code makes a difference.
and it
It
goes
is.
back
Yeah.
to if we're looking at the Affordable Care Act plans, that's the important thing. Is the
Oh,
zip
really?
code because if you're in Maricopa County or if you're in Pinal or
Right,
wherever you
right.
are, it's going to make a difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the difference between like county or state to state? Is there anything that really changes in those different worlds?
It does. And a lot of it has to do with what state you're moving from. So
Okay.
there are some states that or you're moving to Arizona, and it's a little bit more difficult. I'll use California as an example. They're very heavy HMO state. Kaiser Permanente is really big in
Really big.
California. We don't have Kaiser here
Right.
Right.
in Arizona. So and then vice versa, you guys are selling a home and they're moving to California. I'm a Californian, so I can say this next thing. I don't know why you would do that, but
The beach. It's all about the
It
beach.
is.
if you're
I
living
do
in
miss the
California.
beach.
My wife's there right now. It's like the high of 77.
I know.
Wearing sweatshirts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little jealous.
I am.
I love to visit home, but
Yeah.
What is home? What area?
home is. I grew up in Glendale, California.
Okay.
Okay. LA.
Yeah, LA area. Yeah.
Nice.
Grew up, went to school there. I'm a Trojan. A lot of ASU fans don't like that. I just say always just drop the pinky. You go from pitchfork to fight on. I know. That's not popular
all
here.
good. It's
Yeah,
fine.
exactly.
We still love you.
Yeah.
So you said California has a HMO. Arizona is predominantly, would it be a PPO?
It is.
Or-
Well, it depends on all of the Affordable Care Act plans are all considered either HMOs, EPOs, if you go that route.
Okay.
But you can get PPOs. Group plans are PPOs. Individual coverage, like Kemper Health, it's worldwide coverage. So you can
Nice.
you can go to any doctor that you want
Wow.
in the
That's
world.
why I like Kemper Health. That's kind of why I
Right.
was asking about that one.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
I have clients who live, part-time, live here. He's
Oh, yeah.
Australian, so they go back
wow.
and visit in Australia. They had a 2-year-old son who got sick, and he's called me in frantic, just panic, and just said, and I said, just go to the doctor, go to the hospital.
Don't even worry about it.
Don't worry about
Yeah.
it.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
that's
And,
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's
That's
worldwide
good if you're
coverage.
thinking about vacation or
Yeah,
something like
absolutely.
that. And so if someone has a plan and they're going on an extended vacation, are there add-on pieces that they should think about?
Yes, and it all depends on where they're going and what their current coverage is, and
Okay.
that's my clients don't call the insurance company. They don't call, if they're with Blue Cross Blue Shield, they don't
would
call
just
the
call you.
800 number. They don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't call Kemper Health. They call me directly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what I like too, because you know who you're talking to, and somebody's got your back.
So we should, like, even when we just take a vacation, talk to our insurance person
Absolutely.
or you
Yes.
and find out.
Just in case.
Yeah, that never occurred to me.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking I'm assuming if you're going to Australia, you're probably not going for a week. You're
Right.
probably going for
a month.
extended period
exactly.
of time. And I know families that do that.
Yeah.
So
Who wants to be in a plane that long and only go?
But
exactly.
there's even if you have like an Affordable Care Act plan and you want to add a supplement just in case something happens when you're overseas.
Right. What if you're out of the country?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I can help.
But even
Somebody heads
interstate,
down to
it matters.
Mexico or
If we were, for instance, you were just at Lake of the Ozarks, should have probably called. I just met you, so sorry.
No problem. No.
I'll call him next time. Call my insurance guy and say, hey, this is what we're doing. Do we need anything extra just in case something happens?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
good to know.
Yeah.
So now let's go into because people are retiring, and we've got a lot of 55 and older folks saying, "Hey, I'm done working. I want to come down here, retire. Set roots." What is it that they should be thinking about, and what in categories should they be talking to people about and figuring out what's best for them.
The main thing in that is Medicare supplement plan. So over 65 Medicare supplement plan is the same across the board. So it doesn't matter who you have, whether you are with Humana or Blue Cross Blue Shield or Aetna or whoever, AARP or whoever. A plan G is a plan G is a plan G. It doesn't matter who. So it covers the exact same thing.
But does it cost more depending on who you use?
It depends. And again, that's when you have to call a licensed agent to find out, because your health matters.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
So if you are over 65 and healthy versus over 65 and you have some pre-existing things, really the huge window on Medicare age is 6 months before you're turning 65.
Okay.
Because that's when you select whether you select a supplement plan or whether you select an Advantage plan. And an Advantage plan, that's one the ones you see commercials on TV that get free Medicare, get free. And as we all know, it comes with some type of cost.
Right.
It might not be a financial cost, but you can only go to certain
Convenience might
doctors.
be the cost.
So again, I have a client who was on an Advantage plan in Illinois. She her husband passed, so she came to live here in Arizona with her kids. And it was a better option since she was over 65 and healthy to go on a supplement plan. So I helped transition that because again, there's a window that you can change,
Make some adjustments,
which is October.
So
It's basically
it's not now.
It's not
like,
now.
okay.
Yeah.
But if you have a qualifying event, and that's again buying a new
Moving
home
would be qualified.
Oh.
Okay.
and using the very good team would qualify as a qualifying event. So so you can
That's
make
nice
that
to
change.
know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So to me,
Wow.
like one of the bigger pieces of healthcare too, and I had a financial planner tell me this, is whether you have a retirement plan or not, like a healthcare plan is you definitely have it if you're not taking care of yourself. So always stay healthy, always stay, because otherwise you're going to pay for it in the long run.
Sure.
So to me that was a really good tip.
Absolutely. No. And
So
All right.
can we
This
think
has
of anything
been-
else to chat about? I know there's a lot. I mean, healthcare is just huge. So
it is.
If anyone has more specific questions,
Yes.
call Lawrence.
Yes.
Lawrence can answer all those
Yeah,
questions.
and I'm not afraid of telling people you're in the best situation you're in. So stay with what you have.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
That's why we love you. So, kind of to wrap up. So, thank you so much, Lawrence,
Absolutely.
for being
We
here
appreciate
and
it.
kind of doing our pinch hitting. I can't even tell you
Yeah.
how much we appreciate that, and just teaching our viewers what ins and outs of healthcare when you're moving. I mean, nobody really thinks about that.
Sure.
That's kind of a big piece of when you're
Yeah,
moving.
who knew that it affected well,
Until last
I live
night,
on the
I didn't
border.
know.
Yeah, right. Well, and I live on the border of Maricopa and Pinell. So if I were to move from Mesa to Queen Creek, that could possibly affect my healthcare coverage.
absolutely.
And not that you shouldn't move, but knowing
at least
all
think
of the
about it.
pieces
Yeah.
so that you
Yeah.
can make informed
And
decisions.
even selecting a doctor. So if you live in Pinal and you want to go to a doctor in Maricopa County, it won't be covered. So on that certain insurance. So
right,
right.
depending on your
on the
insurance,
insurance.
but
Right.
still, that's something
So that's
that
something
you
to
need
consider.
to know, right?
Right.
That's fascinating.
So, if you find this helpful,
Yeah.
and you like what you're hearing, please subscribe,
Yep.
like, and share to anybody that's is moving or is thinking about moving. And if you just
Next week we're going to talk a little bit more
there
about
you go.
Next, we're going to talk a little bit more about things to think about if you're moving from county to county and things that might change, questions to ask. And that's going to be episode number 7.
Number 7. We're
So.
kicking it.
Yeah. So bye for now. Always use a very good team.
Always use a very good team.